Hey, it's Mike from Grab a Stack of Rock, and I'd just like to tell you really quickly about one of my favorite books from recent years. Unspooled, An Adventure in 8 Tracks by Tim Derling. You see a lot of music books out there, they're either about like specific bands or specific periods in time. Well, this is about a specific format. One that predates me, but I still have memories of. So I was really curious about the 8-track tape, and I learned a lot from this book. For example, what's a coffee can tape? Well, apparently these things really do come unspooled, and when they do, they can become quite a mess. You actually have to get your tapes refurbished if you want to play them. This is all stuff I learned from this book. There are also extensive lists of the tapes that Tim knows exists in the rock format. You curious? Check out the book. You can get it on your local Amazon.
Thank you, my good friend Mike Ladano. Grab a stack of rocks. Subscribe to Mike's channel if you aren't already. Yes, indeed. Mike's talking about my very first book, Unspooled, which has been out for about 3 years now. This is, it is what it says, an adventure in 8 tracks, but it's also a really nice coffee table book. And I'm not bragging myself up for that. I'm talking about the good work done by my good friend Matt Phillips, Go North Design. It's really, really eye-popping art on just about every page. And yes, it is about 8 tracks. So this is, I've said this I've told a lot of people, my feelings. Even though this is the hardest book for me to describe to people exactly what it's all about, it's also the most user-friendly book. If you've got somebody, in your family that you want to buy something for, and, they're picky, but they love music, this is a good book to get because they'll flip through it and they'll see something that catches their eye because the layout is so good. And again, that's to Matt's credit at Go North for that. But yes, it does deal with rare 8 tracks, and we're going to see some of those on this episode. I just wanted to send out a quick word about my Unspooled book because this is an 8-track episode, and it's an episode that I love doing these, especially when the collection is complete. And this is a complete collection. It's a pretty short discography, very compact. Everything I'm talking about is between 1975 and 1983. And I'm talking, of course, about Rainbow, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, his band post Deep Purple, and I guess pre-Deep Purple in some ways. And I have all of the Rainbow 8 tracks, so we'll get to them here. Most of them are US, with an exception anyway. And most of these I've been lucky enough to find in really good shape. This is the debut from 1975, the Strato Castle cover, really cool cover. This is a really nice red US Polydor 8-track of the first album. Interesting that it's, credited to Deep Purple Overseas Limited, so there was still some, the Deep Purple organization was still involved at this point. My next one's really cool because I don't have many 8 tracks from the UK, and this is a notable exception. Of course, the classic Rising from 76 featuring artwork from the late Ken Kelly. And this has a slip case, so this is on Polydor from the UK. And this is what the actual 8-track looks like. And this is different than a US or a Canadian one in that the artwork takes up most of the complete front cover. Insert this side up. That's very important. Now, this one's not in the best of shape, but, the fact that it's UK, it's not a lot of bubbling. I'm happy with it. Great, great, great classic album. And curiously, as we know, they followed it up with a live album, Rainbow on Stage. And this is a US 8-track as well. It's a black shell this time. Not only is it Polydor, but the early Rainbow had this oyster imprint. And this is not an album I listen to a lot, but had to have it, right? And because it's a live album, it's like twice as heavy as the other 8 tracks because there's twice as much tape in here. The third Rainbow Studio album, 1978, Long Live Rock and Roll. There is a little bit of wear up here, but it's not bad. Again, a US copy. I think one of the best Rainbow albums. And for this one, they're back to the red shell for some reason. Down to Earth, 1979, US Polydor. Fantastic album. And some of these next ones are, well, not very easy to find. 1981, Difficult to Cure, the first Joel Turner album. And by now, Polygram in the US was using this very familiar beige. I call it beige. The cassettes look like this too. So still on Polydor for one more album. That would change very soon, but yeah, this is actually the last one that I got. So this not very easy to find. This is a retail edition too. My favorite Rainbow album always has been 1982, Straight Between the Eyes. This is a beautiful, hardly any wear on this one. Really good shape. U.S. retail edition, and now it's not Polydor, it's Mercury, even though it's the same company, same parent company. Yeah, this is a really good shape. PDI molded into the plastic up here. Polygram Distribution Inc., I think, because the cassettes would have that too. And, you know, you can go on eBay or Discogs. You can find the Rainbow albums from the debut through Down to Earth pretty easy. They might not be the cheapest, but you can find them. Difficult to Cure, Straight Between the Eyes, a little bit harder. They might take you a while. In the case of, you know, you may end up with a record club edition, which is fine. But by far the hardest one to find, and the only RCO, the only record club only 8-track, which I talk about in my Unspooled book, is this one. In some ways, it's the final Rainbow album. I mean, they did put out Stranger in Us All in 1995, completely different lineup, but this is Ben of the Shape, 1983, another great album. This is a US RCA Music Service edition, and this is a really hard tape to find. Slipcase is just a typical RCA case that RCA artists or anything on RCA Music Service would have. So the 8-track itself looks like this. This is what RCA Music Service 8-tracks look like. There'd be a Columbia House version of this as well. It would have the blue around the album cover. It would have a different look to them. There's no retail version of Ben Out of Shape. So this is strictly RCO and really hard to find, which is how I can say with confidence that's all the Rainbow ones. I suppose the only possibility would be the half live, half studio compilation Final Vinyl, which came out in 86. They were making 8-tracks for the record clubs in 86, but I've never seen any evidence of it, and it wasn't like it was a big seller. So I think I can safely say I've got all the Rainbow 8-tracks. I mean, there are other 8-tracks, that various artists ones that have Rainbow songs. For example, the 1980 Castle Donington has All Night Long, and escaping me what the other song is right now without looking. But that's it. That's a complete Rainbow 8-track collection. And another highlight of the year. I mean, this is our last episode before Christmas. Want to wish everybody happy holidays too. But another highlight of my years, I got to appear in one of Martin Popoff's books, Run with the Wolf, Rainbow on Record. So I'm in a few chapters in this book, along with some other esteemed panelists. And yeah, very happy. This is a dense read, and I mean that in a good way, because like I said, it's a short catalog, but I guess all of us collectively had a lot to say about these albums. So I would say go put on some Rainbow, and check out my Unspooled book on Amazon. My other books are available there as well. I want to thank everyone for your support throughout the year. We're going to keep on going. We'll be back. We'll be back next weekend with some new episodes. And yeah, New Year's just around the corner, and you know, more episodes to come. Sammy Hagar Deep Dive continues. So just keep on watching. Thank you for your support. Keep sharing the videos, and thank you so much for watching this edition of Tim's Vinyl Confessions.